Hi, and welcome to Therapy Room. Here we create a safe space to talk about all things mental health and emotional well being. I am your host, Nello, and today we are diving into an important topic that affects millions of people worldwide, and it is trauma. We will explore what trauma is, the different kinds of trauma, and how it can impact our lives. Whether you have experienced trauma or trying to understand how to support someone who has, this episode will help unpack the complexities around this topic. So let's get started. First, let's break down what we mean by trauma. In a psychological sense, trauma refers to an emotional response to a deeply distressing or disturbing event. These events could be anything from experiencing or witnessing physical harm to facing emotional abuse or even significant life changes. Trauma isn't limited to what happens during the event itself. It's about how that event continues to impact us emotionally, mentally, and sometimes physically long after it has ended. Trauma can disrupt your sense of safety, our worldview, and our relationships. Please note that trauma can happen to anyone, and it is not a sign of weakness to be affected by it. We all react differently to trauma depending on a number of factors, such as personal resilience, which is the ultimate strength that helps us navigate life's challenges, and also support system, which are those we can talk to, lean on, and there will be no judgment or question, just love. Now that we have basic understanding of what trauma is, let's explore the different types of trauma. Trauma can generally be categorized into acute, chronic, and complex trauma. Acute trauma comes from a single, isolated event. These events are sudden, unexpected, and can leave a person feeling overwhelmed, like a car accident, physical assault, or the sudden death of a loved one. The aftermath experience includes shock, confusion, or even denial. Though this event may be over quickly, its emotional and mental after effects can linger for a long time. If left unaddressed, acute trauma can lead to conditions like PTSD, which is post-traumatic stress disorder. There is chronic trauma. Chronic trauma comes due to being exposed to distressing events repeatedly over an extended period of time, like long-term abuse, whether emotional, physical, or sexual, or even living through war or violence. This kind of trauma can deeply affect one's self-esteem, relationships, and overall mental health. People living with chronic trauma may struggle with anxiety, depression, or dissociation as a way of coping with the overwhelming experiences. There is also complex trauma. This arises from exposure to multiple, varied traumatic events, often starting early in life and continuing over time. These events are interpersonal, that is, they occur within relationships, such as in cases of childhood neglect, abuse, or even growing up in an unstable environment. Complex trauma can have deep and lasting effects on personal ability to form trusting relationships, regulate their emotions, and maintain a sense of self-worth. There are other forms of trauma, but we'll leave those for some other time. But right now, I need you to understand that if you have experienced trauma, healing is possible. You just have to first desire it. The journey can be different for everyone. There are some key steps towards healing. Firstly, you acknowledge it. Recognition is the first step. It's okay to admit that what happened was difficult and painful. Secondly, get professional help. Therapy can help you process the trauma in a safe space. And thirdly, build a support system. Leaning on trusted friends, family, or support group can provide comfort and understanding as you walk through the healing process. And finally on my list, self-care. Self-care cannot be overemphasized because self-care can help regulate your emotions and keep you grounded. You can self-care via journaling, meditation, exercising, or any creative outlet. Trauma is a difficult and painful part of life, but it is also something that we can learn to navigate with. The right tools and support can help a lot. If you are struggling or you know someone that is struggling with trauma, do not isolate. It will only make it worse. Seek out help or encourage them to. A therapist, a friend, or a support group can provide a substantial amount of help. Healing is not immediate, but every step you take towards recovery is a step towards reclaiming your life. Thank you for joining me today. I hope this episode has shed some light on the different forms of traumas and how we can start to heal from them. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe and share with someone who might find it helpful. Until next time, take care of yourself and remember, healing starts with acknowledging your story. I am Nello, and this has been the Therapy Room. Bye for now.